Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Phillip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3. Hello and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm Darren Moser, joined as always by my fellow Strandies, Phillip Gilfus and Daniel Prue. Gentlemen, it's been a little bit since our last transmission. How's that alphabetized watch through going, Daniel?
That's good. That's one of us did not forget about that. That is a very good thing, I'd say. Yeah, no, it's fallen by the wayside. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago that I kind of started watching Battlestar again, and I'm kind of doing that. Okay. But more importantly, the news just came out that The Office is leaving Netflix. So,
oh yeah, so you have to do.
Here's the thing: I'm kind of already in the middle of a rewatch, but I have to finish this rewatch so that I can do an emergency rewatch before The Office leaves Netflix for good. So.
You could just buy The Office.
There's no doubt that I will absolutely buy it, and I'll just watch it when I buy it. But it's nice that it's what I would consider free now, so I'm going to continue to.
Well, where's it moving to? I'm assuming it's not just
NBC
disappearing.
Yeah, NBC is going to do their own CBS All Access. So,
yeah, good luck with that, NBC.
Well, they're taking.
Yes. Hey, without a Star Trek to anchor it, I don't even know how anyone's going to subscribe. Apparently, so
Netflix's two biggest shows. They're taking The Office and Friends, so they will have some heavy hitters, but.
They will have the greatest 90s hits.
But Stranger Things comes out
this week?
This week, guys, so it's all going to be
okay.
Wow. It's going to be okay. Yeah? I think it's the 4th of July it actually comes out.
I'll have to get my...
Yeah, they have a immersive experience event at a pier down here in LA that's all set up like it's the Hawkins Fair, and everything's all 80s. All the people are wearing fanny packs. There's lots of fanny packs, guys. A lot.
For our British viewers.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, sorry, bum bags or whatever they call them. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am starting a rewatch. It's space related, not Star Trek, but because we're in July and we're about to hit the 50th anniversary of Apollo. Apollo 11 is July 20th of this year. It's 50 years since we first landed on the moon. So I am working through From the Earth to the Moon, the HBO miniseries that I know and love, and I'm really excited as well because they're going to be re-releasing that in Blu-ray. It's very hard to find right now because it's not streamed anywhere. It's just the DVD set that I fortunately own, but I'm looking forward to the Blu-ray, and they're going to be upping some of the effects. There are a couple of shots. Well, it's very practical, but there are a couple of shots where it's like the full shot.
The effects of the Apollo 11 mission, because
no,
the original
not
effects
that
they used.
Type of effects.
We can do it so much better
That's
nowadays.
not where I was going with this.
It doesn't even look like the moon.
No, there's like a shot of like Gemini and he's floating, and it's very obvious it's CGI because it's just it's enough to convey the shot, and that's what they did. But I am glad that they're gonna up that, and I think they're gonna letterbox it or crop it a little bit so it'll be 16:9 and up res because it was all shot on film. Because that was 99, guys. That was an old series, but one of my favorites. So I've been watching through that as we gear up towards celebrating Apollo at 50.
Yeah,
so that's going to be
CNN for
good.
some background reason, and I forget what night, but they were showing sort of the real, or they were showing the Apollo 11 mission. It was sort of like pop-up video version, but I mean, because it was showing like the real footage from 1969 or 8. Or
there's been a lot of stuff. I saw a website that has it real time, so you can watch like the entire mission real time with intercut footage and sounds and all sorts of things. So that could be fun to do. You can obviously start at any point or jump around, but yeah, it's a nice time right now because there's a lot of space stuff. I've seen websites that are posting like 50 articles for 50 years leading up to Apollo, and just lots of stuff to learn right now. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, well, because I thought, and again, maybe I just don't know that much about it, but like, I mean, obviously space is hard, but I mean, the fact that like, the separated caps. I got, I knew that because I've seen that, but like that, I'm probably using the wrong terms, but the lander had to come out in space, turn around, reattach, and then go land on the moon. I'm like, well, that was fun. I bet,
Yeah. So the third stage got into orbit. Yeah. It did like a secondary firing, which sent them on its way. So it was doing that not in Earth orbit, but on the way to the moon.
That's what I'm saying, in the middle of space. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're inertia, but they had to like...
So yeah, they jettison the fairing, the command module comes out, turns around, docks with the LEM, pulls it out, and then they continue on their way. And yeah, it's nuts. Like all the things that had to happen... Because I mean, we're so...
Variables, gravity...
we're so familiar with it nowadays. It's like... Every once in a while, I try to put myself in the mindset of, what if we'd never been to space? And it's just the list of things that had to be accomplished and accomplished perfectly. I mean, the fact that when you head towards the moon, you don't head towards the moon where it is. You have to head to where it's going to be in 3 days. Because if you head to where it is now, you'll miss it. And it's crazy the things that they had to do in the 60s.
Especially with the wobbly axis and wobbly orbits. It's not...
Yeah, and just we're still reaping. I mean, the technology benefit, the computer benefit we have nowadays is directly related to all the things that were discovered and invented in the 60s. It's incredible. Back when 5 megabytes was a small apartment-sized box of circuitry.
Because it did then send me on a wiki, hole. Then I was looking up space shuttles, and then I was, not to bring it down, but I was looking at the 2 shuttle accidents, and then I was looking at the most recent, quote unquote, the most recent, which was Columbia. Sorry, I blinked on it for a second. And I mean, it's grisly detail, but when they were doing the investigation, they actually, in order to simulate what happened or what went wrong on the different panels on the shuttle, they used pieces from the Enterprise to blast things out, throw foam at to see what broke. So I thought that was a little interesting Star Trek Enterprise tidbit.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Challenger was Challenger, when it exploded, the actual module that had the people in it just came off as in one piece, and they most likely died from like the inertia and things like that. But as a solid piece, the crew cabin struck the water. Like, it didn't disintegrate, and it took like a long time because it had to continue going up in its trajectory, and then came down in the Atlantic. But yeah, it's always for me. It's a sad week because all within, I mean, different years, but all 3 of the main disasters of NASA happened within 7 days in January, February. Because you have Apollo 1, Challenger, and Columbia. So it's
the shuttle season.
It's a somber time, but
well, just to then move to Star Trek. So I'm not necessarily doing any active Star Trek thing per se right now, but I've been to.
I mean, it's not on CBS. There's nothing new coming out, so why would you?
But I've been going to Barnes and Nobles a lot. Actually, for magazines, to tell you the truth, I've been on a magazine kick. I know Daniel doesn't know what that is, but. Entertainment Weekly celebrating Angel.
That's right.
Gosh, I read it was David Boreanaz 50 years old, and then I was like, well, that makes sense because I'm going to be 40 next year. But anyway, but yeah, that was really fascinating. I haven't watched the video. There's a video that they interviewed the whole cast. But anyway, so I always take a glance, in the sci-fi or in the Star Trek section just to see what's out there. And what they have now, I'm not super tempted, but they're all wrapped in plastic, so like if I could look at it, I could see if I want or not. I know it's all being kind of pushed, quote unquote, by Eagle Moss. It's basically a way to advertise, but whatever. I don't begrudge them. But anyway, they have all these I forget the exact title, but it's basically like Starship model books, and not like models, but like the starships. Like,
are these the magazines that came with the models?
No, these are like hardcover big books, and there's several of them now because there's an original. Actually, there's 3. There's 2.
Oh, I've seen these. It's like 2000. Yes. It's like year 2253 to 2545.
They split Starfleet vessels into 2 different time lines or zones.
That's
so there's like
right.
from
I've seen
Discovery
those.
to like I'm making it up TOS, and then the rest is from like
Right.
TNG to what we know, and Nemesis. Then there's a third book I saw that just had Klingon ships, and so like I know you're more a big Starship guy, which we'll get into, Darren, than I am, but I'd be interested in what they look up. They're all in the plastic covered, so I was like, well,
Oh yeah, I haven't owned any, but I know what they are, and yeah, they've been on a wish list for a while. They do look really cool.
so and then there's some novels, but and then they actually did have all the Discovery books, but.
So we have Enterprise War coming out, I think, within about a month.
Yeah, maybe I'll look at that one. I've only we all know my Discovery thoughts.
I mean, I'll listen to it, so I'll let you know how it
Okay.
is, but I assume it's going to be good. They've all been pretty good. I've really enjoyed them all. I mean, I won't say I read because I listen, but it's same thing. What, bricks in my ears? Is that how it goes? No. But yes, but like you said, Philip, we are going to be talking about starships today. We're going to be talking about the prime starships, the main ships of each series.
And when you say
not
prime ships,
yeah, okay, probably not the best term. I redact that, but no. What I wanted to I just realized we haven't talked about things we like about these ships, and because there's so many ships in Star Trek. There's Federation ships and Klingon ships and Borg. Well, there's like 3 Borg ships, but
Pick your favorite shape.
What I wanted, pick your favorite shape.
infinity symbol.
The Borg infinity symbol. My God.
the 4D cube,
The Tesseract.
that exists in different times. The Tesseract. Your 3-dimensional mind is so limited, Picard.
That'd be cool.
don't
Like
even
you
think
have the
about.
cube, and then like the warp effect is sort of like inner energy, and then it just disappears.
Like you look at it, it's like one of those magic eyes. It's just continually like folding in on itself. You're like, what do we shoot at? I don't even know.
But I saw a schooner. That's all I know.
But just I mean, it was meaning more like features of the ships, special aspects that we see, and we'll see where the list goes. But I was going to start with the good old NX-01 Enterprise. First, what was it? Neptune and back in 8.5 minutes or something. I don't know. They didn't put it on the plaque, so I don't remember.
The paint scratches
it, but,
easily, I hear.
But one of the things I always really liked about the ship is the polarized hull. Because, it was kind of a little bit of a stopgap of, well, we can't have full shields yet because we have to have somewhere for the technology to go. But I just remembered that so much because they were always polarizing the hull. It's like, oh, polarize the hull. Okay,
solved.
Ship hull plating down to something percent. It's like, how are you measuring that? Is it like if you looked out one of the windows, and then you had the awesome scene from the episode, I think it's Minefield, where they had the magnetic mine and they detach a chunk of the, I never saw any other ship do that. Just pull off a whole piece
Well, there
of
goes
your
your hull
ship.
plating on that part of the section. It's
I
literally
mean, granted,
the hull plating.
the E did that with the deflector dish, which was really cool. This is basically the same thing. Maybe that's where they looked it up. They're like, hey, sir, the Enterprise NX-01 once took off a whole piece of hull plating and said,
technically,
assimilate this.
The Enterprise, the NX-01, could have looked that up from their history because that happened before Minefield.
Okay, we don't have time to talk about the timeline,
Look,
Daniel.
Dr. Cochran
We don't
had a
have
story.
Cochran
the
could have
time.
told Archer about
Jeez.
that. So there you go.
So listen here, son.
You're not wrong,
There was this
Daniel.
one
That's
time-
all I'll say. Yeah.
Here, put 50 more
But,
credits in the jukebox for me.
It's called the Ooby Dooby maneuver. But I always liked that. I had my old car. It had what do they call it? It wasn't a sunroof. I think they called it like a moonroof. But basically, where you just could crack it, like it didn't retract. And I always remember because I'm a giant nerd, but when I'm driving around and it like would start to rain or something like that, and I would close it, that was always polarize the hole, slap the little thing and it sealed it up. And I'm like, man, I'm a huge nerd, but hey, it's just me in my car. I'm never going to reveal this on a podcast.
In the car. You'd be like, polarize the hole, and they're like,
Somebody else who
hull
got the
polarized.
Yes, that would be cooler.
Thought that's why you
Phillip.
had kids.
That's it's not at that time, but no, that made me think of that feature, and it was a cool feature. I think it worked out pretty well. it's just the same. It's just another percentage. Is it polarizing the hull or shield strength? But yeah, so polarized hulls. That's my kick. I could go on, not really. But what other features of the NX-01 are memorable to you guys? Daniel, I see your hand raised eagerly in the back right there. Yes, you.
I actually, the
Center
polarized,
square.
it's funny. I kind of roll my eyes at it because I'm like, I don't know what it takes to actually polarize. That's
I assume just like an electrical current or something.
Like, I would have.
But how that actually would
I don't
help?
know.
Like, maybe it disperses the...
Right.
They're mostly
I
being
don't
attacked
think it
by
does
energy
anything
weapons,
against physical
so maybe it
weapons.
disperses it.
Mostly when you try to reverse the polarity, that's when you try to,
So to me, it's always
true.
like, why
That's
don't they
true.
just technically always keep them polarized? But whatever, it's not.
I would
when
assume
you have
energy
a-
cost...
Well, they hadn't invented
You
read
have
alert
it-
yet,
Okay,
so
whatever. But anyways,
Look, all our energy is going into the warp core to go 5. Just 5.
so I don't love. I understand the NX-01 and I appreciate its design because it makes sense in terms of timeline. And so I don't have any problem with it. It's fine. But I don't love the external bits of the ship. But what I do like is I like.
Like the oval saucer in the front.
Yeah, no, I mean,
what we like.
yeah.
Okay, yes.
Whatever,
yeah.
it's fine. It's a little boring, but that's all. That's all I would say. But I do like the internals of the ship. I like how it's like cramped
True.
and small and
Submarine.
yeah.
like,
I really like the in the corridors.
But no fish in the ready room?
We all live in an
And it feels really like utilitarian in a lot of ways. I really like that part of the NX-01. So every time you're inside the ship, I kind of feel like cozy and safe. Like I don't know. I just like the NX-01.
So you must really like the catwalk episode because they are
That's
cozy
a great episode.
in
I
that
really
episode.
like that.
It actually really is.
You stole my one. I was gonna talk about the catwalk because I think that was. I mean, I know it's totally made up for plot, but that's fine. That you had that little section there and then the cells.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We have no space, but we have space in the nacelle. I mean, granted, we saw the inside in the NX-1, in the D, which we'll get to later. But
Yeah.
you could have fit like the NX-01 inside
Probably.
that space, inside the nacelle of the D. But okay, but we won't steal your thunder, Phillip. So crawl spaces, yeah, they're great. The Jeffries tubes.
were they called Jeffries tubes then? I don't know.
Maybe they predated Jeffries. I don't know exactly.
Well, one thing I was going to say, I mean, again, because with the whole prequel thing, but I remember, and I still do, liking I forgot what they were called. Phase cannons. The phase cannons.
Oh yeah, phase cannons are cool.
Because I love
On the little turret, it's like, okay, yeah, you could.
It's almost like a little, and again, I'm going to get to the whole prequel thing, but it's kind of like, where the Defiant had sort of the phase cannons too.
Right.
I mean, it's different. I know it's different. But I like that. Okay, well, you're sitting at the Enterprise writers' room. It's like, okay, well, we can't have everything that we have in Star Trek. So we can't have shields. Can we have torpedoes? All right, we'll keep torpedoes, except they won't be photon torpedoes. They'll just be regular stupid torpedoes. Okay. We can't have phasers. Like, really? We can't have phasers? No, we can't have phasers. Okay. And
why even call it Star Trek, Phillip? Why even call it Star Trek?
But it was interesting to watch the episode where they built it and then use it. And then
if we just crank it up to 11, it actually does something. That's good.
And then even the shuttle pod.
Yeah, the grapplers.
Well, no, the grappler's different. The grappler's their tractor beam. The little.
That's true. Because you can't have a tractor beam, Phillip.
The harpoon.
Yeah.
But the actual, I don't know what you can call it, the shuttle. The way they launch their shuttle pods. I guess maybe it's a launch is what it's called.
The launch bay, yeah.
Because, I mean, like, you could see from the external thing where it's almost maybe like a DS9 or even, you said Battlestar, kind of like, oh, they just launched the pod. But then you're like, what does that look like? But then you got to see what it really looks like. Because you got to see them climb into the thing down the ladder. I mean, it's cramped, but it made sense.
And I think technically that's how the Defiant launches its shuttles, is something similar. Like it comes out of a bay on the bottom.
Yeah, we never see that, though, I don't believe.
No, but we don't see it.
I mean, we don't see it. I mean, we saw it when we were talking about
we
the
see a
surge.
shuttle, but we don't see
how it came out.
launch.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think now that I think about it, though, I can't remember ever seeing a photon cannon on the top of the ship. I'm sure they had one, but
photon.
We always see the shot of it coming out of the bottom.
A photon cannon, you said?
Or yeah, the phase cannon. Sorry, phase cannon. Yeah, the photonic cannon. Obviously, Daniel, it's the greatest of weapons. Yeah,
because if I remember, they just had two. If I remember correctly, because like one was already installed, or no, they had one and they had to build it.
It like came out of the bottom
scratch.
of the saucer.
Yeah, and then the grappler. Yeah,
and there's the time that they had like a instrument on the grappler and they like used it to look down on the planet or something.
Yeah, sensor.
It was cool. Like, but I think I see what you're saying though, Philip. I like the kind of half steps they take in the technology. Like it's still functional, but it's not quite where we are yet.
You know, when you're playing your RPG game and you're like a level 2. That's the NX-01.
You haven't unlocked all the stats yet, Philip. You gotta work a ways before you get to the 1-7. You're at 1. You haven't gotten to 1,701 yet.
But until you get strength 10, I'm afraid that wooden stick's going to have to do.
Strength 17, dexterity 1 gives you
gives you photon torpedoes.
Gives you photon torpedoes. Yeah.
Now, what did you guys? Much like sort of the mystical ballyhooed, season 5 stories. Now, what do you think about the? I don't know if it was ever going to happen or if it was just, it'd be cool if it would happen, but the whole NX-01 refit. Like, what if they had actually done that?
Yeah, I was thinking of that. I would have liked that. I think it was a really cool progression, adds the... I wish they'd gone more into what the governing pod did in the back. I always liked that design of the NX-01, but they never talk about it. But it's in the technical documents, so I know it exists.
It's probably what the computer is, Daniel. That's why we never hear about it.
So, here's the thing. I like the design of the refit that they never used, of course. The problem is they get too close to the NX-01 design, or not the NCC, the Constitution, and it's like there's 100 years of development still. So it feels too close. I wish it was something a little more subtle.
Yeah, that was my only complaint. I mean, it would have been interesting. I mean, again, we won't go over this ground. We're talking about things like, but maybe for these are the voyages, just to do it. Like, it's been 10 years, just do it.
Oh, that would have been cool just for that episode. And like, what? Because it's all CGI at this point, so you just tack it on.
I mean, we got name tags and a whole engineering section. That's what happened in the next 10 years. So,
and I forget, did they have those conduits on the bridge that they had in the E squared episode?
I believe they are in there.
That was the other upgrade. We want full power conduits running right through this bridge, guys. I don't know why, but we want them. Maybe so we can like literally divert the power with a valve or something. Like just like right cavemen. Here. It's happening. Yeah. Anyway, well, that was a lot of time on the NX-01 I wasn't expecting us to spend, but let's cover Discovery. I guess we could put it before the 1701, except for they technically exist at the same time, but
it's terrible.
It has lots of science labs.
It's terrible. There's nothing to like.
And it has a spore drive.
Daniel,
does it have a warped core?
Tell me another saucer that spins around. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's got the cavitating plates on the saucer. So, okay, moving on to the 1701. One of the things I liked about Kirk's ship is the upgradability. Like the fact that this platform was so robust that they did the refit, in the movies. Like, and it progressed, in a really cool way. I'd say I like the refit more than the original, just because of kind of the detail. I think everything's a little too smooth on the original one for me. Not in a bad way. It's just it's harder to get a sense of scale because there's not really panel lines or things like that. It feels kind of like a big piece of plastic.
Well, like one thing, and I guess they were, in as much as they were, but they were consistent about it. Like, and I'm trying to think as I say this, I'll probably be wrong as soon as I say it. But like for the TOS sets, you never see windows. Because when you look at the ship, you're like, there's no windows. It's like, well, we never see windows, so that's fine, And
I think there's a couple of windows on it.
I mean, on the exterior, but think of any time you've been.
No, it's true. They never look out a window.
Mm-hmm.
Why need a window, Philip, when you have that giant screen on the front for 1966?
It is interesting how the thing that they, for the exterior anyway, the thing they played with the most between pilot and then was the nacelle.
Right.
Like, so
because they had those little rods on the front.
Yeah, to play with both what we would call in the modern sense the buzzard collectors. Whether do they have points, do they not have points, or then what kind of finnage do we have here for your, 56 Bel Air here?
I always liked how the nacelles were higher than the saucer. Mm-hmm. When they mess with that in other ships, I feel, or that's one of the things where I feel when I see people draw it or they'll sketch it, and they don't sketch that part right, it just feels off. Like, that's one of the best things I would say also about the 1701 is it's very balanced. The way the proportions are, you have the Y in the back and the saucer, or people will draw it top down and they make the saucer too small. You got
to angle that saucer too. It's not a straight up or down,
the angled saucer, but when they draw it where like the nacelles are wider and farther out than the diameter of the saucer, I'm just like, it looks wrong. It doesn't feel balanced.
And I do like, this of course is all old, but I do like the sort of the deflector dish. Like, there's actually a deflector dish. The refit, of course, drops the radar dish. Right. But it looks, that's what it is. You can tell that's what it's supposed to look like.
Because I think initially it wasn't a deflector dish. I think initially it was
like an antenna
communications disc. Yeah. And which that would have been an interesting course if, as they continued on designing, it didn't become a deflector dish. Because that's one of those things that, like, every ship needs two nacelles and a deflector dish. That kind of constraint that we see.
So I was watching, and I'm going to forget what I was watching, but it was just this past week. And or maybe it was a Facebook post, I think. Yeah, I think it was a Facebook. I think it was a Facebook post. Anyways, it was from Michael Okuda. I think. Yeah. I can't remember.
He knows a thing or two about Star Trek. Continue.
Was this a dream?
I know this definitely happened, but I can't remember this.
It was a phone call from Mike Okuda.
I can't remember the source, but basically they said, and now whatever. Basically, it was said that every time that they designed a ship, they would start with the original Enterprise design, which I actually think feels too constricting. I think it's been kind of constricting for Star Trek for a long, long time. But there is.
I could see it for having a Federation look.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. But it's just like, at some point, you kind of have to move. Like here's the thing. Like Matt Jeffries designed the Enterprise, right? He also designed
and the tubes.
The tubes.
Don't forget the tubes.
And he also designed what the Discovery came based off of. Now, where the 1701 is, like you were mentioning, Darren, is like beautifully balanced and kind of like has this amazing sort of iconic design, beautiful, like fantastic.
Where it's really just three rockets and a saucer, like very basic sci-fi shapes, but put together in a way that no one had ever seen.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's cool and it's great, but it's like, on the other hand, he also designed what became Discovery, and the original design of that was awful, and it continues to be awful. But what we're focusing on the positive here, but the Enterprise itself is, that Enterprise is the lifeblood. It's the foundation of Star Trek ships, of almost all Star Trek iconography. Really, it's like it almost feels like it can't be improved on. Like, I'm sure we'll talk about the other versions of it, and even like I like a lot of the other versions better.
Just slap an A on it, Daniel. That's all you got to do.
I'm interested. Yeah, I was just. I'm not. I was just saying, I'm not a huge Eagle Moss person. That's not necessarily my collecting thing. But I'm wondering if they'll come out, or it has even been. Maybe it has already, for all I know. Are they going to come out with the Discovery Enterprise?
I think they are. I'm pretty sure they are.
And I haven't looked at
which is a little different. It's got the window, bridge, and it's. I think they did a good job with the Discovery Enterprise, because it's it's upgraded, but it's not completely different. Like, actually, the one thing I don't like about that is the gap in the pylons I don't see the point of it, but that's just me.
And I mean, the other thing about the NCC 1701 is that, and again, maybe it's because it's classic and whatever, but it looks cool from almost any angle.
It's really hard to photograph it bad,
and it looks different from every angle. I mean, it can look really,
but it's
big,
recognizable. You can totally
really
tell
thin,
what it is.
And I mean, maybe it's a little ugly on the top, maybe. Like if you do some sort of dorsal and top.
I like the top. I think again, think of it as a silhouette.
Yeah.
Like if you just took the silhouette of it and you look at it from any angle, you could tell what it is, and you could tell which way it's going.
Yeah, no, it's iconic.
So
from every angle, you'll recognize that ship. It's like the Millennium Falcon. Like there's only so many fictional ships that you will just know just by, like you mentioned.
Right.
What pops in my mind, weirdly enough, is I think it's Star Trek 6. This scene where the shields drop and it's this and it's it's the
that's more like Star Trek
or 2. Sorry, 2. Sorry, you're right. 2.
Yeah. Our shields are down. Raise them.
And it's like it's that sort of. It's got the profile for from the top to the side, and it's like that's cool. Like that's like it. Even from like a 2-dimensional drawing, you just know what that is. It's great.
Well, and it's again, you have if you have a kid who loves Star Trek, they can draw the Enterprise. It's recognizable enough to tell what it's supposed to be.
And as silly as that sounds, I think that's actually a pretty cool thing. Of like whatever we make, I want a kid to be able to draw it.
Yeah. And you to be able to tell what it is. That's the second half of that sentence. But no, I think that's why it stood the test of time, and I like you said, Daniel, that's cool that they kind of start with that to have that kind of Federation look. Because you could say, boy, like everything has this saucer, nacelle thing that's kind of stifling, but some on one end you get like the Reliant, which is a really cool kit bash, and then you get things like the Obrith, which is like what is going on here.
All right, guys, calm down.
That's where they were doing the zoom. They're like, okay, shrink the saucer and blow up the other part. Do we need to connect it? Nah, let's just make it work. All right, so moving on.
Well, should we? I don't want to interrupt your flow. Should we stick with the NTC 1701?
What do you mean?
JJ?
I put that later. Cause I put that. That's that's post Voyager.
Okay.
We'll get there.
I don't know if it was the same ship.
Okay. We could. I don't have as much to say about it. But we can put it here. Like the side torpedo launchers are kind of cool. It's big enough for a brewery. Like I guess we have the scale issues to talk about. Like it's basically larger than the Enterprise D. But I don't know.
Yeah, the look is bulbousy.
Too much in the nacelle. I do like the shot where it comes out of Titan.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Like that's a really cool shot, but it's just
it's not great at angles.
It's not It's like it's not different enough, and it's not the same enough. You know what I mean? Like it's trying to be the Enterprise. Like if you had the Discovery Enterprise in the movies, that would be great. Because it's like you're trying to make it look like the show enough, but it's just
when you build a starship on the Earth, you just don't get as great as you do building it out in space.
It's almost too organic. Like they just took the lines and like the part they extended beyond the neck on the body, like is way far forward, and then the bulbing out of the nacelles, which don't feel long enough. It's not balanced, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think
I'm pretty sure, but good things, right? Good things.
I love the redesign, and I think I'm pretty sure their design language that they went with was basically like a Corvette, like a Corvette version of the Enterprise, and
kind of souped up, slick. And
is that the same one that he drove off the cliff?
Yeah, exactly.
Citizen, what are you doing to the Enterprise?
I love the bigger nacelles. I think that's probably the biggest.
Well, we all know about you nacelles, Daniel.
More power.
I do think it is the biggest weakness of the classic 1701 is where those nacelles feel kind of underpowered for what they do.
Oh, Daniel, you're like overpowered Starship?
Oh boy, we'll get into it.
We're not there yet, Phillip. We're not there.
But I recognize it has its problems and it's not perfect, but I really do I like the updated design language. I like a lot of what they went with.
I would say it's not my favorite. I'm not saying it's terrible.
I think that's totally fair.
Like the very last shot of the first movie where it punches off and you're parked right behind the nacelle. That's really cool. That's a cool shot.
Yeah, the warp
it leaves
effects
the
are
Physicola
cool.
in its wake,
I mean, with the warp bubble, the warp effect. I mean, the. Well, I don't know if I'm confusing JJ with Discovery.
I know what you're talking about.
But the
same.
popping instantly out of nowhere is a little weird. But that's fine, I guess.
Well, when you see the side shot view of the traveling through warp, that's cool.
Yeah. And the warp
subspace.
streams, like you said, that's cool.
And apparently you're blind until you come out of warp. I don't remember when that was a thing, but apparently it is.
And the interiors, even though they're too huge, but I mean, putting that aside from classic, just taking it in and of itself, the interiors are. I mean, they're big. They're really too huge. But anyway, but they're cool.
It established a
they're
whole
cool
new design language that we're using to this day. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
I think Discovery hit more of the right balance. There's flat panel screens and translucents, but it's not everywhere.
Because I remember, I don't know if it was an Into Darkness trailer or whatever, whether it was Beyond. It wasn't the first one.
Shall we begin?
Well, but it was because it starts off with just you're in the movie theater, you're there to watch another movie. Trailer comes on, and you're just going down the corridor, and it takes you 2 seconds. Well, to me, 5 seconds to figure out. Oh God, this is Star Trek. But it was kind of cool because it was recognizable. Even though it's a little 2001-y, and that's not a critique. It's just they copied it. But it still has its own look, and so in as much as it is, I do like the interiors. It's not like I'm saying it's my favorite in all the world, but I do like them. It'd be cool to walk around in there and all that.
Yep. Anything else on the JJ prize, Daniel?
I will say that I don't like the refit that much.
What did it change?
It's a little spindly.
I haven't watched Beyond enough. I mean,
they. Yeah,
they pushed the neck forward, they pushed it back. One way.
They pushed it back and they spindled out the pylons a lot.
So they
Very
tried
organic,
to.
but...
I think they overcompensated. They probably got a lot of pushback for the design changes they made, and I think they tried to make it closer. But with the proportions that it has, it just looks a little different, a little out of place, a little more out of place than normal. So I prefer the actual original version. I'm probably in a very vast minority on that one, but I really do like that.
Because the refit's technically the A.
They
put an
did,
A on it.
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's an A.
There's an A on it. Yep. So it's a.
And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wagon.
Yeah.
No bloody A, B, C, or
Speaking
D. Yes, the 01701D. Man, you want to talk about changing? We're going to make the nacelle smaller and lower, and we're going to make the saucer ginormous. Okay, this is, granted, we're all huge TNG fans because we did a podcast for it for 100-something episodes. But, it's weird. I really like the Enterprise D, but it is very different, as far as, progressing the lines, and it does. There are definitely angles of the Enterprise D that do not look good.
I agree.
I will say,
it's not great from every angle.
But just beyond design effects, I love the main deflector dish. I think is one of the best parts about it.
All powerful.
It's super powerful. They use it, the way they use it. It actually feels like it's channeling power, and it's a sensor array. And
it's the sonic screwdriver of Star Trek.
Yeah.
You can do anything
You
with that
reversal
thing.
polarity on that thing all the time. You could. What if we blow it out, Phillip? Do we dare to blow it out?
Now the problem is the main deflector never works on wood, though. So that's just
it feels like you wouldn't be able to go out on the ship exterior and just pop it off. It feels too integrated.
No.
Just a space crowbar.
Yeah. And maybe that little tiny dish part in the middle, but even that, no. And it's, there are some good, again, the side profile and the top profile look really good. They know how to shoot it. They know how to make it look good. But there's some, from the back, again, I could see the forward swept nacelles is a bold choice. It is very different than we see in many other ships, but it still works. Like I honestly don't think it would look better with larger nacelles, but I maybe that's because I'm just so used to the way it does look right now.
Well, if you don't like those nacelles, Darren, I got an easy solution. Boom, there you go. You just got a saucer. It's all good. There
I thought you were going to slap a third one on and just say it's all better now.
In terms of the nacelles, though, I do think we need to talk about the nacelle design, because while they are smaller and they're kind of wimpy, that design with the long blue streak all the way down the back,
and it wraps around the back, and the Bassard
that is
collector.
so beautiful. I love it. And imagine the light show.
Really cool.
If you were on the inside of that ship when you go to warp, just imagine that everything's streaking across.
Well, and the Bassard is right up at the same level as the neck, so you could be in one of those windows on the neck and you just look straight out, and it's that would have been an awesome. I think we kind of had a shot like that.
No, you're not supposed to look directly, Darren. You're supposed to put on your space
but that
sunglasses.
would be really cool, looking straight out at the Bassard collector. And there's definitely some angles it doesn't really work as well. But
I'm just going to say, if you were visiting the Enterprise and you had I was going to say your quarters. If you
forget
if you
the
had the
saucer
top quarters on the saucer, you are getting gypped, man. Anywhere else on that ship, you're going to have a great light show.
Well, and or maybe except for the back of the neck, because then you're just kind of looking up and out at nothing. But
if you're sleeping in the shuttle bay, there's problems.
When what was it, in one of the demos before they took it down of the video game one where they rebuilt the whole Enterprise in the computer, they had a shot where they parked a shuttle pod on the back of the nacelle on top of it, and it kind of looked down, and it just gave you a sense of scale because you're on the nacelle. Because that's always one of the hardest things with ships like this when they get so big, is getting a sense of how big it is.
That was one thing I see for the design. Again, you get it. I mean, I'm about to say you do get it, but I don't think you get it great. Maybe not even until Generations, when they tried to shoot it a little bit better. But anyway, I was going to say, it really gives that sense of scale, in as much as this is a big ship.
It's big.
Yeah, that's that saucer.
Or DS9, when they park it there, it's this is a huge. I mean, the station's huge, but the Galaxy class is a big honking ship.
And so it's not oversized to me, but when you talk about comparison to nacelles, I think maybe the shorter nacelle, I don't know if it was or not, kind of emphasizes the bigger saucer. But I think that's it's because we have all these people living here. We have all these families. We have,
right.
That's why we have.
I think in the original
saucer
design, it was the saucer is almost like the extra part, and the battle bridge is the real. Which
that's an ugly thing, by the way.
It does not really look that good without the saucer. It does not feel bad. This does not bring joy, okay?
That's right. That's why I wear a hat.
But here's the thing, too, about
the
Enterprise D is kind of ugly in a lot of ways.
But we're not going to lie.
I love it.
You just get used to it.
I love it
a lot,
But
it's
interesting. Even within Star Trek canon, it feels one of the most. It's unique in terms of what we were talking about with two nacelles and a saucer. It's everything kind of looks like the Enterprise, kind of.
Well, even the C looks like a big Constitution class.
Yeah,
it's
a little fancied up.
And the B,
we're gonna go crazy with
some
nacelles.
different designs. I'd say the Excelsior was really the next design phase. It actually looks different enough.
Give a little curve in the body.
You have the T-bar on the nacelles, and I really like the Excelsior design.
But if you look at the ships that we know, in time, I think the D.
Are they golden on the wall, Daniel?
I think
that's what I'm
D
feeling.
Is the furthest part of the curve until it starts to circle back in on itself, and everything else starts the Enterprise E.
No, I
Voyager,
think you're right. Yeah.
Everything starts to look a little bit more like the classic Enterprise, and this is the furthest mainstream ship that we get. That's it has its own flavor. It's got its own profile. It's got everything is a little bit different, and then they go back to safety zone where it's the Enterprise.
I think a lot of that is, again, in the nacelles, is the fact that, all other ships either have Well, they don't have forward swept ones, like where they're anchored at the back. But it works. Again, it gives some weird angles. It doesn't have the smooth lines as much. It's a little boxy. Like you could fit it in a nice rectangle, if you look from the top. But it's still like that side profile still looks really good.
It's just hard to imagine it making any kind of maneuvers that we see it make. You're kind of like, that thing's got to steer like a truck, and you're telling me it goes like,
yeah, that's true. I do really like in I think it's Best of Both Worlds where they do that little pitch maneuver with the secondary section, and it kind of like pitches over. And I mean, Worf even says it, like when the Enterprise is shed of its bulk, it's quite maneuverable. And it's like, yeah, I could actually buy the secondary hull zipping around. Like when they release them at warp and it does that like quick U-turn in space.
The saucer meanwhile is like, hey guys,
yeah,
I'm over here.
Well,
I'm at impulse.
Like, hang on,
I'm at impulse.
So yeah, keep riding, because once we break, we have no warp nacelle, so we're kind of there.
I hope I don't land on a planet.
But yeah, no, I think we really, I mean, again, like I said before, we really like the Enterprise D. It's one of our favorites, but we do admit it is ugly from certain angles, but maybe it just has so much character from what we know about it, and the fact that we lose it.
Yeah, and because I think, and I don't know, I'm not the expert, but it seems to me they didn't really get a chance to
42 decks, Phillip.
They really didn't get a chance to shoot it properly with a more complicated model. In other words,
I think they were limited by the technology of their day, on how you could shoot it.
And in order to shoot it, well, I think, what do I know? But I think in order to shoot it well, it needs to be more detailed, which they couldn't get until Generations, and then Generations, they blow it up. And so we never really got to see the sort of like, zoom in, because there's all those dark shadows from where you have to get certain angles.
That's true.
And
I think, because they had the 4-foot model and they had the 6-foot model. And I think I think you're right. I think they did another detail pass over it before. Like, I don't think they made another Enterprise. I mean, I know they made the new saucer for the crash sequence, but I don't think they made another Enterprise full for the movie. I think they just re-detailed it, and it's just more budget for better effects.
Now, if I were a writer, and I was working on the Picard show, and I was a big Star Trek fan, and I was aware...
Oh, he has to have a gold one in his ready room.
That's
where
I'm going with it.
Is there like a broken Stargazer one, and then there's like...
No, it's on the ground.
Use the Excelsior class for
for
like 150 years.
Of the Federation.
I want Picard to end up... I want to see an updated Galaxy class, beautiful CG model, beautiful, fantastic... Let's just do it. Just do it.
Well, didn't they have that in the end of Enterprise?
Yes.
In that last shot.
Well, it was updated for 2005. Yes, I mean it's been 20 years, almost 20 years since then. But
like a really, really, really good. Like we fly and we skim the paint.
Yeah, no, it was nice. So I'm just saying they could now.
Now, how many nacelles does it have at this time?
That's a good question, Daniel. How many nacelles? Let's just do 4 just to make it more balanced and put 2 down below. No. And then another saucer while we just take 2 ships and shove them together.
Your Galaxy class ran into my Galaxy class.
Look, the Galaxy's a lot smaller than we thought it was.
And then it has a separation where it separates into 2 Galaxy classes. And so...
Well, then you basically have the Prometheus, which that's its own issues. Little wimpy third nacelle. We're not going to talk about that. But, I don't think we're going to get to DS9 this week, guys, because we're already at 52 minutes, minus a little editing time. But I think if we can make this a 2-parter, which seems to be our new trend for this summer, I think it'd be fun to... Because for DS9, I want to talk about DS9, the Defiant, and Runabouts. Because before the Defiant, the Runabouts are king of the roost.
I want to say king.
Or Prince
Duke,
of the Roost?
Minor Earl at most.
Minor Earl at most. Look, they had landing pads, they had letters, ABC. That's one other thing with the Enterprise D is, that as much as we wanted to see more of the main shuttle bay, like, just all the variety, like, I don't know, I feel like we got a lot of show, not tell. Like, last thing I'll say negative on Discovery is like,
Huh.
they say
Come on,
a
guys.
lot. Okay, I know. Who's kidding? Who am I kidding? But, they say like, oh, the science stuff, all this and that. But at least on the deep, like we saw different types of, like we saw a cybernetics lab. We saw the one with the big globes on the wall. There was
Stellar
the
cartography.
there was the one with the tank in it. I don't know the names of these, but I know what they had in them, and it was cool. Like, you felt like there was a lot of cool stuff going on in here. And you had space for it because you had a big old ship. But, yeah, no, it's just really interesting. I almost don't know if they'd be bold enough to make the Enterprise D design nowadays. If it didn't exist and they were, like, trying to invent, like, the next starship. Because you're right, Daniel. It's a radical departure. It's the peak of the curve before you kind of circle back around to the classic.
So
it's got saucers and nacelles, but that's about where the similarities. Like, it's not even a round saucer. Like, they don't really do anything that's not a round saucer nowadays, ever.
So I feel like the bet should be in Picard. What will we see? Let's say first season. Will we see none of the above? Will we see a Galaxy class, or will we see a Sovereign class first?
That's assuming he's even on a
at some
ship.
point,
Like a Federation
Starfleet,
at some
you have
point
to see a
he's
ship
gonna be on a ship.
sometime. But are we going to see, like I said, are we going to see a Galaxy class first? Are we going to see a Sovereign class first? Or are we not going to see any of them?
I want to see Sovereign flashbacks.
Okay.
Like, when he does flashbacks, because we got to get something.
The incident
like,
that happened.
The incident that happened is
him up.
obviously going to be on the E. Like, that just makes sense.
Do you think that they're redesigning the E?
I don't see why you would.
It still seems pretty modern.
maybe
right?
spruce
it
up.
Seems like it would be.
Yeah, I'd say
think
maybe
so.
spruce it up a little bit.
I mean, it was
but like,
CGI in the first place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was CGI.
Yeah, there's no models after Generation.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they ever modeled the
only
E.
the only model they did was for the Vegas location.
Oh, interesting.
I know because I saw another copy of it, and it's ginormous. It's like
To answer your
12
question,
feet
though,
long, but.
I imagine. God, I don't know. I have no idea where this Picard show has me a little nervous, honestly. But I
If he's on the Janolan, run, guys, run! This is
have
going to
such
end well.
conflicting feelings. I don't know. Do I want to see Riker on the Titan? Do I want to see flashbacks of the E? That sounds awesome. Maybe.
But it's so in the future. Like, no one's going to be on anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
They'll all be old and retired.
We'll just use transphasic
Well,
beaming. For starships
It's only
are out.
20 years in the future. Picard was on the Stargazer for 20 years. So
Yeah. But he's
I
no
could see us
Picard.
having Enterprise E flashbacks, but I don't know. I mean, because that's a really the bigger question is what do Federation ships look like?
They're bubbles.
That's really the question because we're gonna see Federation ships.
yes, we are.
Right.
We better see Federation ships. CBS is what I'm saying.
I guess
But-
we'll find out soon enough.
No,
We're
that's
not-
a good
It's
question.
just it's all nothing but defiance.
Oh no!
And they merge together into a cube shape. That can't possibly
I'll
go
form
wrong.
the head.
That's all the Defiant can form is the head. Okay. Well, Philip, if someone wanted to talk to you about your overpowered Enterprise D Design 3 nacelles, where would they find you?
Right, and when you separate that nacelle, it's also can be used as an emergency weapon. They can find me on Twitter at NCPublicServant.
I could put a warhead on the front and
Yes.
just ram that whole thing.
Ramming nacelle speed.
That's not a bad idea. And then it gets out of the way of the main shuttle bay.
Yeah,
Win-win.
That third nacelle just raises up, and there's like a little target, little like a harpoon on top of it, and you just aim it at, and the little panel comes up on the.
What are they doing, sir? I don't know. They seem to be separating the third nacelle.
And you'd have a little icon comes up like a joystick, but more of like the two things,
And then-
you're like,
And then the captain puts his hand on his shoulders and he goes, "Remember, you only get one shot."
I don't know. We've got two more nacelles.
No, we need those to go to warp. We can't. Or they misfire it. It's like they keep the top and the left, but the other one goes.
Oh, I had
It's
that
like,
one in
"Wait, what was
reverse.
that?"
Sorry.
Yeah. Starboard sharks are pouring one out tonight for the starboard nacelles. Okay. And Daniel, if someone wanted to talk to you about your favorite ugly angle of the Enterprise D. Is it coming straight up, shooting through the Klingon ship, or B for barricading it back into the shuttle bay?
Straight on
Where
is
would they find
definitely
you?
the worst. Because here's the thing: if you look at the Enterprise D straight on,
it's very fat. The
it
saucer
is, but it also looks cross-eyed. No matter how, the two nacelles look like they're going in different directions, so it's like really strange.
Yeah.
So.
It's like once you take it at least like 10 degrees off center, it looks way better.
It's like that first shot in Encounter, you're kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like...
Which is why they don't have the ship ram like the Enterprise E, where it's coming straight at you.
Yes,
that looks good. But the Enterprise D, not so much.
Yeah, they're off at angles.
Although for gross tonnage, I think the Enterprise D would have obliterated the Scimitar, because that ship is huge.
So they can talk to me about D angles all you want on Twitter, and find me there at OneUpDan. That's the number one, not the word.
And if someone wanted to talk to me about crawl spaces in Enterprise D nacelles, because that's that's an awesome episode. I mean, gosh, was it Arrow Gray when we talked about seldom used sets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Was it way back when?
Yes.
Oh man, that was good. Good times, guys. Good times. They can find me on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi, DRSCIFI. And you can join us here right again next week as we continue this episode. I'm going to hijack the center seat for another week, as we got a lot more to talk about with DS9, Voyager, and the Enterprise E now. Because why not? It's not a turkey, because we're making those nacelles swept in a good direction. I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Phillip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
Stranded here, dreaming of starships and rescue on City Alpha 3.